Our irreverent look at how we're going to recruit more ham radio operators into our fabulous hobby. But it's not serious. Well, that's what you'll find out. And we're just delighted that you're here. Chip Margelli, K7JA. I'm Gordo. Got Steve here, works with Bob Heil. And most important, we have you. So we're going to be recording. So on the count of three, we'd like to hear your call signs to see who's going to beat the pileup. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The YL ending with Foxtrot. There's
no Foxtrot in the call.
Well, welcome to what will be my final session here at Hamvention 19. Here's Chip to say a few words before we get started.
Before we get started, glad everybody's here. Who's happy to be sitting down? I know the feeling, standing over there in the booth all day and watching all those pork chop sandwiches going by, and people been to the beer garden, and the folks that had the brats, I sent them away as fast as I could. And but great to see everybody here. The weather has been better than it has been many times, a little hotter than we like it, but it's kind of inevitable. You got a room full of hams, you're going to have hot air, so make the best of it. Here you go, Gordo.
All right. And by the way, you all know that the league has announced that there's going to be new Q codes. Yeah, they're going to redo the Q codes. They'll keep the regular ones. The first one is QBS, Quebec Bravo Sierra. QBS getting deep in here. Oh, it's going to be a tough one. How about QET? Call home. Good job. And you think that's funny, Virginia? Virginia, QEW. That's for me with earphones. Bad copy, earwax. This is going to be a tough group. All right, let's try this one. QBO. Don't sit next to that guy at the next Hamfest. QBO. All right. Chip, what have we got?
Well, my final is dipped. Is your final dipped? We're ready to boogie.
All right, let's get started with what's going to happen at field day. How many do a field day? All right, and how many have had everything work just perfectly at field day? Right, that's what I thought. Well, we're going to take a look and see exactly what happens at field day when things don't go absolutely perfectly. Chip?
Well, you know, it's all about planning. It's all about being OCD for months and months and months in advance, but the OCD part always starts with a review of what happened last year. And of course, last year everything went perfectly. At least that's what you're going to tell your competitors when they compare scores and wonder why you scraped out an extra 100 points compared to them. And they say, oh, it's because everything went 100% properly in order at our field day site. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're right. So what we're going to do with this presentation is to explore the master plan from one of the masters, and we've got many here. Thank you again for your expertise here on review and planning. And we're going to look for things like field day location and finding a site that you don't get kicked out of after you've got everything set up. And what about generators, the important generators?
Well, they worked last year.
Yep, that happens. And entry class versus operators and crew numbers and their abilities. And since this is our presentation on how to foster new hams to get involved with fun, we added food. You got to have food at field day. And most important, execution.
Without executing all of the station captains by Sunday afternoon.
There we go. So important. And speaking of execution, so how did you do for field day last year? Let me see all the success of everything went perfect, 100%. That's what I thought.
Right.
All right. First of all, we talked about finding the right site. And to the left, what do we got to the left? It looks like that'll be good for HF, huh, Chip?
Yeah, beachfront site, horizontal antennas up on the hill, vertical antennas down on the beach. You're getting rid of the crosstalk one to the other. And as long as we don't have a mass beaching of gray whales, the verticals will stay in place.
Nothing worse than losing a vertical to a giant whale. And let's hope for no wind for our very adept field day operator. And what mountain is that in the background?
Oh, that's Mount Rainier in the state of Washington.
All right, where Chip and Janet herald from. So let's take a look and see what's happening at field day. Here is a little antenna set up.
Yep, you know, you really want to be much above the surrounding terrain. You want to have a negative horizon if possible, and sighting of an antenna with 360 degrees of coverage. It will always ensure that you're never without a place to beam the antenna. When conditions go bad one direction, there's always someplace else to beam. There's always a catch, though. Yeah,
the catch is, how do you get that aluminum up there? And that's the old access to that great field day site. And if you've got some new hams, time to put them into action with a little climbing up the hill. And that gives him great exercise. Now, how many microwavers here? Let me see all you 10 giggers and 24 gigs. Oh, good. All right, I'll meet you on 10 gigs. Memo for 2019, remember that beside microwave, you got to get it up the hill. So having a little someone to get it up the hill will be very important. And this is how someone did it last year. That's just a small dish, and I think he's making great progress. Oh, did you have Plan B to get your drive to that great field day location? Imagine this, setting up for field day, only to find out that the one and only access is no more. Chip?
Yep, and even when you get there, you've got to make sure that you have a multiple plan layer for getting your antennas up and running. I just talked to somebody yesterday on the floor, and he said, you know, we were doing some thinking, and I've got this great bridge really close to where I live, and I wonder if that'll work. And he hooked up, I don't know if it was a single wire or a shunt feed of some sort, and he said, without doing any particular adjustments, it resonated on 7258. So there we had our 40-meter phone antenna out of the way without any further work.
Oh, that is great. And you know, the high location for field day is always a great one. Both vertical and horizontal antenna make it happen. But only to be thwarted by Mother Nature again. Let's see, what bridge is that we were trying to go to?
That's Galloping Gertie, and the 40-meter antenna just became a 20-meter antenna.
And of course, when you're out scouting, you want to scope out that QTH, and you got to do it with a high location. So I'll get out of everybody's way here. So you have a good shot at being able to see where you're going to do. But you want to try and do it on a sunny day, because sometimes the weather is not nice and sunny. How many of you had a field day catastrophe when it rained and poured, and you were watching lightning bolts go from one transceiver to the other as it came down? Yep, there you go. Now, very important that before you do field day that you do a site survey and get permission to use your site. And usually the local rangers are the ones that are going to give you that site permission. So know your rangers well, know the law enforcement well, unless someone forgot the paperwork to get signed. Oh, no. And that happens, yep. There we were down at the beach, and what were we? We were trying to reach out to Hawaii on 2 meters, right? Well, the important generator. How many do generator versus solar power? Okay. How many do solar power instead of the generator? All right. Well, we saw some great arm power Armstrong out at the Hamfest. You see that guy cranking that generator, making contacts? That was great until the paramedics hauled him off. So the famous last words on field day was, how's that again on the generator?
It worked last year, senor. This was actually in Cuba some 10 years ago. And yeah, see, it worked last year, just like here.
So if you've got a generator for field day, make sure and get it deployed and tested long before you go for it. Now, for starters, how did your club's generator expert work out for you last year? Well, he got the light bulb to light, but the generator not necessarily. So remember that the new shiny and new Jenny your club bought last year? Well, this year it needs a little bit of shiny. If your generator looks a little bit like that, then we encourage you not to pull the starter cord at the field day site. And did that stream of exhaust smoke give you a hint that you might be in for a big surprise? All right, so no generators, no solar. How about wind power? How many have done wind power at field day? Well, you may want to consider this for wind power. That's only about 400 feet tall, and I think somebody was on 75 with a pair of tubes that went south, but there you go. So wind power, natural power, lots of clubs use leg power on a bicycle. I don't know if we can go backwards on that one, but yeah, there we go. And natural power, did it work out okay? Yeah, that's a great way to go. And if you have someone that loves to make things happen. So make a note, every field day needs a power guru. All right, now let's talk about antennas. And here's Chip, the antenna master that designs and builds all of his antennas. So if you're missing some plumbing, some copper piping of your next door neighbor of Chip's, yeah, he keeps them well in bay.
Yeah, of course, one of the benefits of field days, you get to try outrageous antennas that you probably didn't ever conceive of having at the house. You may have restrictions, you may have low-flying aircraft, you may have mischievous neighbor kids that love to stick a pin in your coax after you just spent thousands of hours designing that 7-element 40-meter quad. You may run into the wrath of the Audubon Society, all kinds of things. Or if you make a pretty one, the Audubon Society may say, thank you very much. This is now a National Heritage Site. Do not rotate that beam. So that's a distinct possibility.
Yes, sirree. And we'd like to think about antennas. And here at Hamfest, at Hamvention 19, we saw some very interesting antennas. In fact, where is my very pretty lady with her beam antenna? There, look at this. All right, come right on up here. And she's going to give her call sign. She has a very special award if you get a chance to work her. Hang on, her coax. Oh, and this is good, the balloon. And now you need to describe the antenna. Now, you've been doing this for how many years? And it is wonderful.
Hi, everybody. I'm KB3OQV. My name is Kristen. I am a technician, and I've been doing this since 2011. I decided that I won the antenna from a Hamfest talk-in prize, and decided that, sure, I was going to make use of the antenna. And I've seen all the guys, Joe, Sam, everybody with their antennas, and I'm like, I want to put an antenna in my hair. So my dad helped me pop rivet a cup, which is what's under the hair, it's what's holding it up, and combined with a tube of hair gel. And I've kind of become a celebrity here at Dayton, and today I actually made it on the cover of the Dayton, no, not Dayton.
All right.
The Xenia Gazette. I'm on the front page, so, for the Hamfest. Woo! So
those folks can see you.
So what I do is I walk around Hamfest and say hi to everybody and just kind of be myself. This is literally where I shine and where I sparkle. I love to meet people. I'm a very personable person. You can walk up to me, take a picture with me, take a picture of me. It's completely cool. I am fine with it, and I love the attention. And 2 meters. I'm on 14658. That's what I'm talking to my entire family on. I have 9 of them here. My cousins just recently got licensed using Gordo's books. It only took them 9 days. They only missed 1 question each and passed it with flying colors. They're completely smart. One of them, or actually both of them, are here. Melissa, stand up.
All right. Woo.
And I can't remember, it's KN4ROJ. And then Elizabeth, stand up. She's also here with us. This is KN4ROI. And my sister back there, KB3GXB. She's had her license for a while. She has her general. She's working on her extra. I'm still a tech. I know I got to catch up, but I've had some stuff going on, so I'm working on it. But I'm sure with Gordo's help, I'm sure I'll get there. He makes great books, great test materials. Thanks for having me, and I wanted to kind of stop in and just say hi to you all. And yeah, the neat antennas is what I do. I love to create, so anytime you see me out in the flea market, stop by, talk to me, whatever. It's what I do. I love Hamvention. I love being here. So hope you all have enjoyed Hamvention. I'll turn it back over to Gordo. Thank you.
Good. All right. Let's hear for Kristen. Thanks. Let me get your call sign, and it is Kilo Bravo 3, Oscar Quebec Victor. Yes. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. So, you know, these things are fun. And this is the only ham fest that I've been to lately, and Chip will probably echo this, where we've seen some real shenanigans going on. And that makes it very special. So let's take a look and see what a very special field day crazy antenna could be. And we'll take a look here. All right. Now, Kristen, this looks good. That may be your next one. I think this should have been given a clue that at field day you can have fun with antennas. And for kids, we want to encourage you for field day to bring out the kids. Maybe they're not licensed, but have them take an old TV antenna, you know, a pair of rabbit ears. You say rabbit ears to new kids and they go, what? You have to have those things to pick up television? Are they high definition? Well, we've got some nice high definition. This is the bed spring. This one, I think it loads on 75, but can you get 160?
Oh, I don't think so. I think this is more like 70 meters, but the advantage is it is a rotary.
It is a rotary. There we go. Now, for those of you going to be operating from the south, we want to call this design the Redneck Quad, where you, and you know, a good antenna for the redneck is those that are so long that you have to tie the other end to the outdoor outhouse. I knew that joke would not work, all right? And where all your antennas easily transportable to the field day site. Well, maybe. Those things happen. And of course, for those of us on VHF and UHF with the big microwave dish antennas, you've got to really engineer it correctly on getting not only the dish but the feed horn to get under those low bridges out to the field day site. Is that amazing? And for the guy that got suckered into checking the antenna SWR that didn't quite meet what it was supposed to be, so it takes a lot to get there. And how many have had a tower failure at field day that you'll never admit? Yeah, we've all done that. Boom. Well, we just wanted to raise it down very quickly. You had a tower failure?
At field day, we invited the firemen to have dinner with us, and the fire truck knocked down our antennas.
Oh, the fire truck caught one of the, and did it damage the apparatus?
But you did get the 100 bonus points for having a served agency present.
So there you go. So you never know what's going to happen. So let's just go ahead and lift off this tower. And I think it must be parallax. I think it looks pretty straight, right? And that's me with the shorts. And yeah, no more long pants for me. But this is fun. And field day, guys, it's a push-up mask, not a tilt-up mask. Get that straight. And that many, oh no. So this is field day coming up. And just know from some of these great shots of which Chip was able to put all this together that it happens. Now, we talked about beer can verticals. The best beer can vertical we saw back in the early days of Hamvention, and it was at the Biltmore Hotel. And we built this so tall, it came down, no one was hurt, but we were never invited back to the Biltmore. So that's when we moved out to the DARA Arena, and I'm sure that we pretty well destroyed that. And of course, how many were there when they had the big explosion from underground in the parking lot? That was great. It was, well, not to worry, for those not there, it was a plumbing problem that poosh, it went up about 50 feet, and we, you were there at Hera. Yeah, I was outside. So here is your microwave dish, and a good 807 is what keeps that on the air. So you got to have fun at field day. Now, why else? Ladies, let me hear you. I want ladies call signs only. Ladies, and if you're not a ham, just blurt out your name. Ladies, 1, 2, 3. There's that foxtrot again. All right. Well, Chip, who do we have there? I remember them.
Oh, you bet. We've got Ethel and Lucy there, and generally on field day, some of the gals who theoretically don't know what they're doing kind of stand by and just watch the guys doing their thing, and they go, okay, yeah, that's going to be fun. You're doing a great job there. And they look at each other and say, what do you got, $10 on it lasting 5 minutes? No, 10 minutes, no, 5 minutes. Well, we'll see. Guys, just give it up. Turn over the antenna guru captain position to the gals. They're ultimately gonna do the engineering better. And besides, you're not gonna have to listen to them saying, I told you so, when it comes crashing down.
Oh, roger that. All right. Now, how many are going to be operating phone at field day? That is so good. I mean, digital is good, but it sort of lacks the zing that phone can bring in. And who do we have here? This is a great group of phone operators, as well as CW ops.
Yeah, this is the group back on the East Coast on the Potomac River, W3AO. As anybody that competes knows, they are extremely annoying. But fortunately, in the new winter field day thing that is becoming a thing, W3AO didn't enter this year, and I'm proud to say that my club, W6ZE, won by a margin of about 55% to second place. We won the outdoor division on the winter field day, and so, yeah, we know what it feels like to be W3AO, if only for 1 year.
Very good. Now, CW, we've heard many of you. We do hear your signal on CW out in California. And 599C, C for chirp. Yes, just a little bit of chirp. Those things happen. And here is the field day review of, take us to, that's Chip. Hi, Chip. They look good in purple. All right, next one. Here we go. Field Day 2018. Where were you?
I was at W6ZE again.
Okay, W6 Zulu Echo, and as you can see, they've got quite a nice one. Now, occasionally you'll have field day operated by new operators, possibly operators that have come from the CB radio. We get a lot of nice hams that come from CB radio, but sometimes they have a hard time transitioning.
CQ breaker, CQ breaker, CQ breaker. This is Kilo India 6 Tango Uniform calling CQ breaker. Come on back.
Not a lot of calls. And how many have all the filters? You know, DX Engineering does a great job with some of those filters. What kind of those filters allow one antenna, about 3 stations on them?
Oh, those are the low-band systems from RA6LBS. They have a triplexer system that allows you to split out one tri-bander down to 3 different stations, and 100 to 150 watts each. You will not know that the other band is on the air, even though all 3 of you are feeding power to a single antenna through one very magic box. Trust me, it is witchcraft, but it works.
Oh, that's great. You'll hear Virginia out there. She has built the pine board. She's made modification to Bob's great pine board design. Virginia, come on up here and just tell everybody who you've made contact on the Bob Heil pine board that you've seen on Hamnation.
Well, oh, do I need to turn around? Oh, I don't want to.
Pine board.
Well, I've made lots of contact with Bob via email. He's still helping me with my pine board. But I have also talked to him on the phone, and one of these days, not too long from now, I will talk to Bob Heil on my pine board. It's still a work in progress.
All right. Well, thank you, Virginia, for being out there and building stuff, and you haven't hit your finger on the high voltage yet, huh? All right. It's very important for CW that you have got some of the great transmitters. In fact, Steve here, I saw you out at the swap meet, and that was a terrific radio that you bought, and we heard it on the air just a few moments ago. Yes, maybe a filter capacitor recap, and you'll be ready to roll. Now, one of the best promotions of ham radio, and ladies with a great hat, that is such a wonderful thing. We need to, and you made front page. Well, front page on many ham radio sites was a trip that Chip and Janet and team made up to the studios, and here is Chip to tell you the great success they pulled off.
Oh, well, on a Wednesday, just any Wednesday, I got a phone call from the producers at NBC, and they were in a panic. They had this idea they were going to do a Morse code demonstration and a shootout between Morse code and the world champion texters, SMS messengers. And they explained they wanted to, the original concept was to use American Morse, clickety-clack, 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 like the railroads used. They thought that would be a real clever thing to do. But, as he explained, they were concerned about two things. Number one, finding two living, breathing souls that could still do clickety-clack, clickety-clack. And number two, they were very concerned about the reliability of this 150, 175-year-old equipment. After all, when you're a producer of a nationally broadcast television show, you need about 3 or 4 standard deviations of, yes, this absolutely is going to work, because that baby shoots as a block of time, and they don't stop for makeup and cocktails. Once that's rolling, it's rolling. And so he explained this predicament to me, and I thought about it for a second, and I said, well, yeah, I can help you. I can provide 2 portable radios, battery powered off the grid, 2 backups, headphones and speakers if we need them, Morse code sending devices, which we call gear paddles and keys and things like that. And gosh, with a little bit of thought, I could probably come up with some period outfits to wear. And there was this long silence from this producer. And, you know, he's thinking, he's been in this panic for several days now. And he said, well, this is Wednesday, we're shooting Friday. How can you do this? And I said, this is ham radio, it's what we do. There was another long silence, and I hear a little clickety-clack in the back, and he says, okay, how about 11:30 Friday? And they go 11:30 or 9:30, I guess. 9:30 Friday. What's at 9:30 Friday? He said, well, that's when the limousine is going to come pick you up to be on the Tonight Show. And I'm going, wait a minute. You asked what you could do to make this happen. I gave you that. And he said, no. You're the perfect man for this job. And so, yeah, they drafted me, and we went out, and as you probably have seen on the videos, we had some success. And yes, it can now be told we sandbagged them. We had 2 rehearsals at the show prior to the actual shoot. And the first one was a block of time. They needed to see how many seconds this was going to take, or minutes. Turned out to be 3.5 minutes, and at union scale, that was a nice little paycheck I got. Anyway, the first message they provided was what we were going to block out the time with. And my partner, Ken Miller, K6CTW, and I figured, well, let's see what these guys have got. So I went out with a straight key. And they had this nice message: 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, which I was sending at maybe 16 words a minute, not very fast at all. And, about 8 words into this, the booth is shouting down, "This is taking too long." And yet I got through the message before the kids did. So I'm thinking, well, I'm not sure I believe this. So we did that. Then we did the dress rehearsal with Jay Leno. And in this case, I came out with a keyer paddle, but I sent at the same speed, continuing the sandbagging. And so we sent the next message, which was, "Your thumb is bigger than my thumb." And I sent it the same 16 words a minute or so. And we beat them again. And now we're absolutely convinced that they're sandbagging us. We're not going to buy this. We are absolutely convinced. So in the interval, we computed his world record texting accomplishment, which turned out to be 28 words a minute. Go to the FT817, tick, 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 29 words a minute. They're going to sandbag us. We're going to sandbag them better. And we figured that for 11 million people with the drum beating in the band and the people screaming and all this stuff, if they get sweaty palms, if they can beat their own world record, well, God bless you, way to go. But we also wanted to keep it under control, because the scariest thing there was not the 11 million people in the audience, not the people in the audience raising all kinds of whoopee. The band, no, don't care about that. The number one, the scariest thing about it was this was Friday the 13th, 1 week before Dayton Hamvention. And if I screw this up, just shoot me now.
So they were a success, and everybody knows it. Now, Chip, if you'll go back 1 slide, we want to talk about phone operators, and you want to make sure that your phone operators are all tied into not only looking good, but sounding good on the air. So again, we talked about some Q codes, QBO, don't sit next to that guy in the ham thing, and QLF. But, everybody has their technique on CW. And how many have owned a Swan radio? All you Swan operators? We know Swan operators. Just a little bit of drift, but that makes it fun when we're playing radio over the airwaves. Now, field day review, so you have it well in stead. Are you in a big trouble if your digital op arrives wearing one of these buttons? No, you want to make sure your digital guy or gal is going to be doing just a great job. And were your station's captains all that you hope for? Yep, you want to make sure. And you need to have veteran operators at field day, because field day is so important that not only are you on the air operating, but as you're making contacts, instead of the headphones, the only thing that the ops hear, you want to have a secondary speaker so everybody coming up going, who you talking to, they're looking over your shoulder. So any field day ops with headphones, that's fine, but put a Y in there. And certainly your Y could be well designed, and your station captain will be able to fix it in a snap. And I know there's some great wiring that all of you have. You don't want to see my dune buggy in California, but the photo on the left pretty much describes it all. And the photo on the right, well, let's see, what's 110, 220, 440? Where have you operated, Chip, with some strange voltages?
Too many places. You just pray you got a good noise blanker.
Yeah, a good noise blanker would certainly help. So the Get on the Air, the Go-To Station. Kids love the Go-To Station. And have a script for them so that they can see how to operate it. And you'll find that kids will just be so excited to be able to do your Go-To Station. But make sure that your Go-To Station doesn't have a station captain afflicted with dyslexia. Because the CQ may not sound quite like that again. Now, on field day, we want you to be sure and demonstrate that you've got all the safety equipment in hand. Notice that they're all wearing, no, I guess there's no safety. No, I guess there's no no, there's no shoes. Make sure that your team is up to doing that. And where was this, Chip?
I was about 50 miles to the east of Havana. We were doing CO0 USA. Nice of them to give us that nice call sign. And those are, the fellow in the front with the dark shirt is on FT8 almost every day. That's Jorge, CO2II. And yeah, the hard hat you can forget, but you must wear the shoes because as anybody in the Midwest to the South knows, fire ants are not your pal.
Oh, wow. Yes, that you want to watch out for. I suppose you could cook them, and there's nothing better than a great field day food. Now, how many that do field day have a little dinner get together? Oh, that is great. But you want to make it memorable because dinners are a big part of field day. And whatever happens at dinner time during field day, they will remember. Now, anticipation of steak and shrimp is what a lot of new field day operators will have, or the aroma maybe of briskets on the barbecue. What's not to like? Well, did anybody screw up dinner at field day? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The chili cook-off. And regarding the chili cook-off and home-powered electronics, certain food groups are certainly not recommended for field day, especially if you're sharing the same tent. Because those little guys will bite you back in the butt big time. Brats and kraut, that's an explosive combination. Not just the need for Pepto-Bismol, but, yeah, that. Yeah, we're talking about blazing saddle syndrome. Now, if the field day chairman is a chef and he commands that there'll be a small but big bowl of chili, maybe you can organize methane power generators. That would, in fact, you'd probably get an extra 100 points. What the heck, probably an extra 1,000 points for a little methane on field day. So important. Now, very important, no smoking. No smoking during field day, and that includes equipment as well. So watch out for those outhouses that go flying during field day. Are you out of Pepto-Bismol or Febreze? You may need that after serving those field day banquets. Yes, sirree. Now, for 2019, this year, only a month away, we're going to make field day a lot better. And here's Chip to give you some great ideas on field day planning.
Well, now you've learned the lessons. We've got to make sure that we have a site that doesn't have any of the challenges that we have encountered with the crummy weather and things like that. Make sure that we don't have any possibility of having our antennas compromised. Make sure that all your power sources are up to the task. And also make sure that you have competent station captains that are not going to screw up.
Great Scott!
Make sure that your computer experts are truly expert, but be sure, though, that all the modern technology is fully comprehended by these station captains. Yeah, that cat system is not that. And make sure that you send Gorder out to do a recon to see if we can make use of some antennas that we could do a midnight run on and relocate. And you also got to make sure that when you're out there operating, that the operator's undivided attention is on making QSOs and not this kind. Very important, we're going to have pictures like we heard in the Xenia Gazette. Make sure your publicity people know how to spell. And yes, all weekend it sounds like CQ Field Day, but I'm sorry, this is a Me Too era, and that's just not going to fly. Be careful how you spell. Make sure all safety rules are observed. Red to black, black to red is verboten. As we noted, avoid dietary malfeasance, and that means no beans in the chili. And by all means, whatever you do, have fun, have a great field day in 2019, and you may just end up number one in your class. And you can celebrate at your next club meeting. CQ Field Day, WB6NOA, always rocks it. There you go, Gordo. Thanks so much.
K7JA put this all together. Give Chip a big hand. And after field day, you got to come home, and you might want to install some of those successful antennas on your house. If you live in an area where there's rules that say no big antennas on the house, no problem at all. Do it in the middle of the night, and that neighbor the next morning goes, "Whoa, what the hell's that?" It's been there the whole time. Lightning arrestor. We're near Dayton, Ohio. Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, on behalf of the Dayton Hamfest team, Chip Margelli, K7JA, and Janet Margelli, KL7, mother, father, dear friends, you are all friends. We're a fraternity. The best part of Dayton is we just pull shenanigans, from the great antennas and the big smiles to all of you that have been so nice and put up with little inconveniences that are nothing to hams. You made this Hamfest happen. So if you're a volunteer for Dayton Hamvention 2019, you pulled off probably the largest attendance yet ever here at the Greene County Fairgrounds. What a great facility, great everything, and you make ham radio happen. We'll hear you on the air for Field Day 73.
See you from N6 Hotel, California. Bye-bye.